Welcome to ELFH 300 Prior Learning Assessment. This presentation will provide you with an introduction to the OLL program, this course, your syllabus, and your instructor. We'll begin by discussing the Bachelor of Science in Organizational Leadership and Learning, or OLL program. We'll then talk about the basic components of our course, ELFH 300, and review the syllabus. Finally, you'll learn about your instructor and her expectations for this course. So let's get started by learning more about the OLL program. These program goals are the stepping stones to your degree. The competencies and expertise developed in the program are sought by employers in many different types of organizations. The program expands upon your relevant work specialization. It leads you to analyze performance and teach or train for better results. It causes you to examine change projects and to evaluate outcomes. It explores the best practices in managing and leading human resources. The capstone project brings it all together to apply what you learned in a real situation. The result is expertise as a developer of people in a learning organization. This degree is built upon your relevant background knowledge and skills, what you know and can do from prior work training and experience, and what you can teach, train, and manage others to do. Your work specialization may also include interpersonal skills or business and management skills. This course, ELFH 300 Prior Learning Assessment, helps you to assess valuable prior learning. Learning acquired from work and life experience can turn into up to 48 hours of academic credit in the work specialization area. 4 goals summarize the competency and expertise developed in the major. The first goal concerns analyzing performance, examining the gap between what is and what should be. A primary skill set is how to assess needs and propose solutions, such as training or other appropriate interventions, like coaching or job aids or even job task realignment. Technical skills to use information systems and to manage knowledge are also important in analysis. Leaders in workforce learning are able to identify changes needed to improve learning and work performance. The second goal concerns intervention. Once the problem's solution is pinpointed, the intervention must be designed and developed. This entails understanding the needs of adult learners, the role of diversity, and how the change is likely to impact the problem. More than 50% of interventions involve training, so it's important to be able to write objectives, plan lesson designs, and devise evaluations. Designing and developing materials, including the use of multimedia and technology, is an important skill set. The trend in training is online delivery of learning. However, training is not the only type of intervention, and it's not always the best solution to the problem. Leaders in workforce learning know what alternatives are and how to plan them. The third goal concerns evaluation and change. Or we might say, deliver a change and evaluate the result. After a solution is matched to the problem and the intervention is produced, it is delivered to cause a change. Throughout this process, the change in performance is evaluated at multiple levels and over time to assess how it solves the problem. Measuring and evaluating effectiveness of interventions is critical to gauge the impact on individuals, their performance, and the organization's results. Leaders in workforce learning have skills to facilitate organizational change and to measure the outcomes. The fourth goal is to manage and lead. Workforce leaders understand requirements for managing human resources and have the vision to lead workforce learning and performance improvement. Leaders in workforce learning have essential skills to plan and manage projects, events, and people. Skills to manage the human resource function lead to new job roles. The final course in this program asks you to demonstrate and reflect upon what you learned. It requires you to complete a fieldwork project that synthesizes what you learned about teaching, training, and managing in your work specialization. In addition, you'll assemble a portfolio and write a reflection to articulate your learning in the major. This degree program requires major courses, work specialization, general education, and electives to total 123 credit hours. Workforce leaders use a wide range of knowledge and skills to analyze workplace problems, to develop performance interventions, to implement change and evaluate the outcomes, and to manage and lead improvement efforts. Workforce leaders use their expertise in a variety of settings: corporate, industry, education, nonprofit, military, and government. This program validates your existing work specialization and builds it into a valuable educational credential. It adds expertise to improve workplace learning and performance. It prepares you for the roles of learning strategist, project manager, professional specialist, and business partner. So get ready to be a student again. Spend some time on our program website and learn about the additional courses in the program. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Get to know your instructor, your advisor, and the other students in the program. So now that you know more about the OLL program, let's talk about this course, ELFH 300 Prior Learning Assessment. There are two main components to this course. The first is the basic skills for program success. The second, which will consume the bulk of our time together this semester, is your Prior Learning Assessment Documents, or PLAD. We'll talk about each of these in the upcoming slides. In this course, you'll learn the basic skills for success in the OLL program. We will focus on three skills: critical thinking, writing, and technology. Each of the assignments you will complete during this semester will focus on one or more of these skills and will better prepare you for success later in the program. As I mentioned before, the bulk of our time together this semester will be consumed by your Prior Learning Assessment Documents, or PLAD. This is your request for 6 to 48 hours of work specialization credit based on occupational training and experience. In the upcoming weeks, you'll learn more about the university's graduation requirements and how your prior occupational training and experiences can fulfill some of these credits. As part of the OLL program, all students must have between 6 and 48 hours of work specialization credit. These credits can come from any combination of the two types that we'll discuss in class. But first, let's learn more about your work specialization. The University of Louisville requires 123 credit hours to earn a bachelor's degree. 50 of those hours must be at the upper level, that is 300 and 400 level, and 30 of the last 36 must be at U of L. However, this doesn't apply if you don't live in the Louisville area, so be sure to ask your advisor if you have any questions. The OLL major courses total 35 upper level credits. The general education requirement consists of 34 lower level credits in specified areas. Prior learning assessment is the way to obtain up to 48 hours of credit in the work specialization area. By doing a little math, we can see that it takes 15 upper level credits and 33 lower level credits to achieve the total. That leaves 6 credit hours to be earned in the elective category. The most important difference in crediting prior learning is the source of the information. In traditional classroom learning, the source of information is symbolic, such as listening to lectures or reading. In experiential learning, the source of information is acting or observing, something the learner does or watches as somebody else does, rather than something heard or read about. You can compare classroom learning to experiential learning in the chart on this slide. Pay attention to the experiential learning sequence. You'll see it again when we talk about the Kolb experiential learning cycle. So what counts as college-level learning? You must prove that your learning is measurable, equivalent to a college course, or consistent with the learning of students engaged in college studies, applicable outside a specific job or context in which it was learned, based on a broad area of knowledge, implies a conceptual or theoretical as well as practical understanding, is reasonably current, shows some relationship to your degree goals or your lifelong learning goals, and is not a repeat of learning for which you have already obtained credit. Your work specialization is the area of expertise that you've developed over your years in the workforce. In most cases, it's the area in which you hope to teach, train, coach, mentor, manage, or lead after graduation. In later weeks, we'll explore O-Net Online to help determine the knowledge, skills, and abilities, or KSAs, that comprise your work specialization. Then, you'll complete the hallmark assessment for this course, the KSA Inventory and Life Learning Narrative. This will detail your development in your work specialization, and it will set the baseline for your request of 6 to 48 hours of work specialization credit. As we said earlier, each student in the OLL program must have between 6 and 48 hours of work specialization credit as part of his or her graduation requirements. These hours can come from any combination of the two types of credit we'll discuss in class. The next few slides will introduce each of these two types. We'll discuss them in much greater detail in the coming weeks. Occupational training credit comes from courses taken through non-accredited institutions, courses not accepted for transfer credit by U of L, or courses taken through your employer. This includes military training. These courses must be related to your work specialization. The supporting documentation you'll need to support this request includes the Occupational Training Learning Worksheet, accompanying justification essays, proof of participation in the training, and a credit recommendation for the training. Occupational experiential learning credit comes from licenses or certifications related to your work specialization, as well as supervisor-led or self-study programs. It's important to note that credit is not earned based on experience alone. Instead, credit is awarded based on learning from experience. Supporting documentation for this request is the Occupational Experiential Learning Worksheet, accompanying reflection essays, proof of experience, and a credit recommendation. Towards the end of the semester, you'll assemble and submit your PLAD. I will review your PLAD in its entirety, and I may request revisions. After the conclusion of the semester, the review committee, consisting of faculty members in the College of Education and Human Development, will convene to review your request and your supporting documentation. Ultimately, they will award your work specialization credit. This decision may take up to several weeks after the end of the semester. Because of this, your grade in this course is not dependent upon the acceptance of your work specialization credit request. However, you will not earn a grade of C or better in this course until a satisfactory PLAD has been submitted. Conversely, your PLAD will not be submitted to the PLA Review Committee if you haven't earned a grade of C or better in this course. Now I know what you're thinking. That was a lot of information. If you're feeling overwhelmed, don't worry. We'll talk in much greater detail over the next few weeks. This lesson is simply meant to provide you with an introduction. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. The next few slides will provide you with an overview of our syllabus. I highly recommend that you download and save or print the syllabus and keep it in a location where you can easily access it. The syllabus serves as your contract for the semester, so reference it often. As a reminder, this presentation is simply an overview of the syllabus. You should still thoroughly read the entire syllabus on your own. Your syllabus provides contact information for your instructor, the department, and the course. It's easy to communicate with me. The best way to reach me is via Blackboard or email. Because I'm a part-time instructor at U of L, I do not have an office or a phone on campus. However, I understand that some situations may warrant a phone call. Please note that this is a personal cell phone number. Show respect and only call between the hours posted in the syllabus. If I don't answer, leave me a message with your name, number, and section number. I'll return your call as soon as possible. If the posted hours don't fit your schedule, please email me and we'll coordinate a better time. Our textbook, Earn College Credit for What You Know by Janet Colvin, is required. You can find it at the university bookstore or through an online vendor of your choice. Perrin's Pocket Guide to APA Style or the publication manual of the American Psychological Association are also suggested. Additionally, Purdue University has an outstanding resource for APA Style. The link can be found on the first page of your syllabus. LiveText is a web-based tool for developing, assessing, and measuring student learning and more. It allows students to share their work with professors and allows students to view their instructors' feedback immediately. The College of Education and Human Development mandates that all students in the school use this program. Your Hallmark Assessment Task, or HAT, must be submitted to LiveText rather than Blackboard. Additionally, your PLAD will be submitted and shared with the PLA Review Committee via a template in LiveText. The conceptual framework, Shaping Tomorrow: Ideas to Action, embodies a unified rationale for our diverse programs that includes three constructs: inquiry, action, and advocacy. Our course meets this framework through various assignments, including the basic skills for program success, PLAD, and self-assessments. Our course is divided into two main sections, as discussed earlier in this presentation. The basic skills for program success consists of critical thinking, writing, and technology. The PLAD is your request for 6 to 48 hours of work specialization credit from prior learning. You should consider the following when taking an online course. Without lectures, you'll be teaching yourselves to learn. You'll do most of your communicating by writing. Class communication is largely asynchronous. There is a student and teacher role reversal. And students depend on technology to submit work and to communicate. Pay close attention to the grading criteria by assignment. Not only does your syllabus list the due dates for these assignments, it also lists the point value associated with each assignment. This will help you prioritize your time. For example, note that the KSA inventory and life learning narrative, your HAT for this course, is worth 40 points, or 40% of your final grade. Finally, I want to highlight some pieces of information in your syllabus. U of L offers many resources to help you, including Resources for Academic Achievement, or REACH, the Computer Resource Center, and the Delphi Center. Contact information for these resources is listed in your syllabus. Plagiarism, as defined by the university on page 8 of your syllabus, will not be tolerated. Due dates for assignments are posted in this syllabus and on Blackboard. Plan your life accordingly. If life intervenes and you can't meet a deadline, communicate with your instructor immediately. Failure to plan can result in a failing grade. You'll find that the syllabus for this course is much more lengthy than for a face-to-face course. I highly recommend that you download and save or print the syllabus and keep it in a location where you can access it easily. Remember that this presentation is simply an overview of our syllabus. You must still thoroughly read the entire syllabus on your own. I have high expectations of all of my students, just as I expect that you all have high expectations of me. I strive to exceed your expectations, and I hope that you'll work hard to exceed mine. You won't receive a grade in my class, but you will earn one. I'm eager to work with you as long as you're eager to work. I do my best to treat my students in a manner that is both consistent and fair. Because of this, I will adhere strictly to the syllabus for our course. I will not make any concessions for you or another student that I would not also make for every other student in my class. Don't panic. This lesson was likely much longer than most of the others we'll have in this class. We covered a lot of information, but please keep in mind that this is just an introduction. If you're feeling overwhelmed, rest assured that we'll discuss everything in much greater detail in the coming weeks. So let's get started. Good luck in the course, and don't hesitate to contact me through Blackboard, email, or phone if you have questions or any problems. I'm looking forward to working with you.